What's good, Buff Nation? Welcome on into the SCO Show. Aniello, Piro, Chase Howell broadcasting from our friends over at Peckish. 2 locations across Colorado. Be sure to check out their new spot off of I-25 and Bellevue and the OG up there in Boulder, right on the hill. So if you're going to a Buff game, basketball, football next year, make sure to check them out and let them know that the SCO Show sent you. But happy to be here. We just munched on some incredible food, and we've got some Buff football to talk about.
We love Peckish. It's probably our favorite restaurant. We come here pretty much after every single show, and finally we get to do a show on location. I think this is our first official SCO show on location.
I think so. We've done some content out here for sure, but I think it's the first show we've done. Also, let me give a shout out to my boy Petros in Goonsville. Make sure to check him out on social media. He's going to join us on the program a little bit later, tell us a little bit about his story. And look, if you don't know Goonsville, you're not a goon, obviously, but be sure to check him out because Uncle Neely's rocking Goonsville, Warren Sapp's rocking Goonsville. A lot of people associated with Colorado Buffaloes football are rocking the Goonsville. So shout out to my man Petros, and we'll talk to him here in a little bit as well. But what's up, dude?
What's up, dude? It's been a couple weeks. I guess not too much is happening in Buff world, but a lot of draft talk. The combine is going on this week. A lot of people are in Indianapolis talking about who's going where, and Shedeur Sanders, always a big topic of conversation.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, like Shedeur, Travis, like they're forever Buffs, right? So like we'll probably be talking about Shedeur and Travis on this show throughout their NFL career as well. So we're going to keep tabs on Travis and Shedeur at the next level, and we'll have some fun with that for sure. But you know, last time we talked, it was about Marshall Faulk, and it was about kind of the coaching staff. I don't think there's been any big
changes,
movement since then, though.
No, not much movement. Obviously, this is basketball season. This is usually when we're talking about CU hoops, but both the women's team and the men's team a little bit down this year. I actually got to see my first game at the Keg all year, which was against Kansas on Monday night, which was cool to get back into the Keg. Obviously, they lost. They put up a nice fight. They had that nice win over Baylor this past Saturday. So they have a couple of Big 12 wins under their belt, which I don't think we were able to say the last time we did this show. So obviously, we're still paying attention. There's a couple of guys to be excited about over the next couple of years, but it's hard to talk basketball. So we're just going to keep the focus on the football.
Yeah, 100%. And if you like the SCO Show, if you want all things CU Buffs, make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button on YouTube. That way you guys never miss an episode of the SCO Show and the other content that we have here surrounding Denver sports on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. But the Combine is here.
Combine's here.
You know, we had Sean
Officially
Payton of the Broncos doing his thing. You got all the college players out there and whatnot. And we've seen Shedeur and Cam Ward kind of throwing together in some spurts over the last month or so as well. But, like, this is the time, right? Like, this is like final exams almost for a lot of these organizations, right? Okay, we like this player. We like that player. We want to see him do this. We want to see him do that. Well, not many teams, really no teams, are going to see Shedeur Sanders throw the football as he elects not to throw at the Combine, which is a bit of a controversy to some of those out there.
I guess it's controversy. I think anything that happens in the Sanders family becomes a controversy, but most top quarterbacks over the last few years, they have decided not to throw in the Combine. I don't know if we've heard much info on what Travis Hunter will do, but I don't expect him to do that many activities as well. He might save that 40 time for the pro day. So that means that all eyes turn to Boulder in a couple of weeks for the pro day, and there's going to be a lot of attention on it. I'm sure that Sports Center and NFL Network will probably do their show out there, as we've seen with a lot of other top quarterbacks, and a lot of those other top quarterbacks aren't as big of names as Shedeur Sanders. So we'll turn our focus to the pro day. Combine, we'll see what happens over the next few days, but I'm sure that nothing at least with the 2 Buffs that we're paying a lot of attention to, I'm not expecting too much.
And this is not uncommon, right? Like, I feel like ever since I was like a kid, you've heard about these college players opting out of throwing at the Combine or running at the Combine or whatever it might be. So it's not like it's anything new with Shedeur Sanders' decision to not participate in the throwing portion of the Combine. But for whatever reason, to your point, since it is CU, since it is Shedeur, since it is Coach Prime, a lot of people are going to be, you know, feeling some type of way about that.
I guess so, and I think a lot of people have changed their opinions on quarterbacks previously not throwing in the Combine, and then now that it's Shedeur Sanders that's not throwing, they have a different opinion.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, it is funny how that works, but I think we've seen that a lot over the last few years when it comes to the Sanders, and it's really no surprise. I think it benefits Shedeur to wait to throw at his pro day when he has his own wide receivers that he's comfortable with, and obviously the field that he's comfortable with as well. So I don't think any of us are that surprised that we're waiting until the pro day.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, still a lot of time to kind of see how this is going to play out, right? Tennessee has the first overall pick. So do they end up going quarterback? If they do go quarterback, is it Shedeur Sanders? Is it Cam Ward? Do they look to trade out of that number one pick, something that they've done before? That the year they traded out of the pick was the year that the Rams ended up moving up to draft Jared Goff as well. So, we'll see what happens with Tennessee. But I think you and I are both in agreement. Whichever teams end up drafting Shedeur and Travis, they're going to be happy campers.
Yeah, and if you're reading the most recent mock drafts, and I'm sure we're going to get into some more detail here, but Shedeur Sanders has fallen down the board, and nothing has happened over the last month or two. It just seems like due to the controversy, due to all the nitpicking.
What controversy?
There is no controversy,
exactly.
But they make up controversy in the media. But because of all the nitpicking, I think we started to see him fall a little bit, and it seems like he might not go even top 5 if you looked at Mel Kiper's most recent mock draft yesterday, and I think Daniel Jeremiah, another trusted source when it comes to mock drafts, I think he has him outside of the top 5. So we're starting to see him fall, really for no good reason. But what's the worst thing that can happen if you fall down the draft board? You go to a better team?
Exactly. I'm worried Travis is going to get drafted by Jacksonville. I'm not even going to lie. I don't want Travis. I want Travis to get his bag. I want him to be the top pick. I want all that for Travis Hunter. But Jacksonville. Like maybe the worst organization in my lifetime in the NFL. I mean, Cleveland's made the playoffs. I guess Jacksonville made an AFC championship game.
They've been on a couple of runs, but we know how that organization is run, and I think Cleveland as well. But most recently, I think I've seen Travis Hunter possibly going to the New York Giants, which I think both of us wouldn't be too happy with.
Yeah, I would not be happy with that. That would be no Giants for Travis or Shedeur. I guess no Jacksonville. I'd be okay with that. But so bringing it back to the decision not to throw at the combine, I think throwing at the combine I don't want to say it could only hurt Shedeur, but what more does he have to prove that his tape doesn't already show? And to your point, he's going to throw at his pro day.
Yeah, I don't know why you just want to see him throw in drills. It's not like they do anything overly impressive at the combine. At the pro day, he's going to have his own script. He's going to show off his arm in the ways that he wants to, and obviously he's going to show that he can make all the throws, which we've already seen over the last few years. And I like how he said, I don't know if that was his statement, but it was Ian Rappaport that came out with the tweet that broke the news originally, and he said Shedeur Sanders is going to let the tape over the last 3 years speak for himself. So
yeah, exactly. And Mel Kiper, who actually has Shedeur going 7th overall, which is the latest that I've seen Shedeur in like a legitimate mock draft, he actually agrees with Shedeur Sanders' decision not to throw at the combine. He says, quote, "Zero issue. I would not do it as well. You want to be in your setting, your pro day with your receivers. You dictate policy there. 40 time, I wouldn't even run one. Quarterbacks now aren't doing that either, so let them watch you perform." And then he goes on to talk some more about Shedeur. But it's interesting that the guy who has him going 7th overall outside of the top 5 is also in agreement with him not to throw at the combine.
Yeah, and he's not the only one. So I'm interested to see what they're hearing from scouts or GMs or different sources that are starting to make them to believe that Shedeur might fall outside of the top 5. I'm also interested in this combine if Travis Hunter is going to run the 40. He might wait till the pro day to do that. But
he might.
I think a lot of people are going to be curious about what Travis Hunter ends up running. And with Shedeur, I just think that there's no point in throwing at the combine. So why do people make a big deal out of it?
Yeah, 100%. And Matt Miller, who's not exactly, the biggest Shedeur stan, I guess you could say.
Why is that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Do some people have a vendetta against the Sanders?
I wonder how I would feel if I wasn't living in Colorado, like how my view of Shedeur Sanders would be. Because I can understand, like everybody hates the Lakers, right? Like if you're not a Laker fan. Everybody hates the Cowboys if you're not a Cowboy fan, the Yankees, the Dodgers, right? And I think you get a little bit of that energy, especially from college football fans that are like diehards that think they know, everything. And so I think it's a little bit of just like that overall trickle-down effect. But you meet Shedeur, you talk to Shedeur, you watch Shedeur play, you talk to Coach Prime. Like it's a completely different experience than what they're feeding you on TV, I feel like.
Yeah, and it just seems like it depends on the media member. Like some media members seem to be maybe even overly pro Shedeur Sanders. Or Ian Rappaport puts out that tweet announcing that he's not going to throw at the combine, and Rappaport said some nice things. He also said that teams have been very impressed with him during meetings, which is what he wants to do more of at the combine. And I think that's really his strength. So I'm surprised that people keep on moving him down the draft board based off of really nothing happening over the last month besides him doing these meetings, which it seems like have all gone very, very well.
Yeah, 100%. And Matt Miller, the ESPN draft analyst, his quote on Shedeur not throwing at the combine is, quote, "So I don't think it's going to hurt Shedeur Sanders that he's not throwing at the combine, but I do think it's a missed opportunity to go out there and say, quote, I am the QB1 in this class. Guys who throw have an opportunity to better themselves. I'm of the opinion you really can't hurt yourself by throwing, but I do think you can make up some ground by going out there and competing." But my counter to that is, what ground does Shedeur Sanders need to make up? Like, it's him or Cam Ward. And all due respect to Cam Ward, who was in the Heisman conversation for a majority of the season, like, I think it probably comes down to fit. Like, what are some of the primary differences in Cam Ward's style of play compared to Shedeur?
Cam Ward is a better dual threat quarterback.
Right.
He can run it a little bit better. I think Shedeur is more accurate. Cam Ward might be a better downfield passer. It just depends on your opinion. But I think the biggest thing is that Cam Ward's legs are definitely better.
Yeah, and I think, but like with that point, I think it also comes down to how is a team trying to build around their quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, let's say that Derrick Henry was still in Tennessee and Tennessee has the #1 overall pick. You're like, well, do we need to focus on more dual threat when we've got King Henry back here? Maybe you go a little bit more traditional with Shedeur Sanders. So I don't like that's the thing. It's not like it's I can't think of like a comparison off the top of my head, but I think of when Andrew Luck and RG3, right? They both went 1-2. And Andrew Luck was kind of like that prototype, pocket passer, smart guy. RG3, dual threat, which was, unknown really at the time at that point in the NFL. But I think it also comes down to fit. Like, does a team want a more pure pocket passer in Shedeur, or do they want some more versatility in Cam Ward? I don't think it's a personality thing.
We saw it a little bit last year with Jane Daniels and Caleb Williams, and it's one reason why Jane Daniels wasn't able to beat out Caleb Williams during the draft process, but it didn't really matter this past season when Jane Daniels definitely outperformed him, and he went to a better team. So it's not really we're going to make a big deal out of this over the next couple months, but it really doesn't matter where he goes in the draft. Maybe we want to see him go high, but I think in terms of his career and the future of his career, none of this actually matters.
Yeah, 100%. And frankly, to your point, the later you go, the better the organization you're going to get drafted to.
Yeah, and usually you're going to have more success early. We've seen it with C.J. Stroud and Jane Daniels the last couple of years.
And it's not like in years past. Like, remember, like when the Chiefs, they had the #1 overall pick a few years ago before Mahomes, and they drafted an offensive lineman, I think. Like the teams, sometimes you're bad for a couple of years and you get these top picks, but like the teams that are picking in the top 5 this year are putrid. I mean, no disrespect, but like Tennessee have no idea as to why they moved off Mike Vrabel. Cleveland is a dumpster fire. The Patriots are now without Bill Belichick. The Giants can't get out of their own way, right? So it's almost like it could be a blessing in disguise if a team ends up passing on Shedeur or Travis early. You get them off to a better franchise, and away we go.
Yeah, and I guess the other point that you could make is that there really wasn't much of a big gap between the bottom 5 teams in the NFL.
Right.
Pretty much any one of them had a chance to get that first overall pick over the last couple of weeks of the NFL season. I think people were surprised that Tennessee ended up with it. For a second, it was the Patriots. Another second, it was the Raiders. Yeah, so there's really not a big gap amongst pretty much the bottom 6 teams in the NFL. So it's all going to come down to fit, offensive coordinator, and hopefully Shedeur Sanders ends up at the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, every team picking in the top 6 shares the same record for the most part. The top 3 teams, Tennessee, Cleveland, New York, all 3-14, and then Patriots, Jacksonville, and Vegas. That's 4 through 6, all 4-13. And then you have the Jets at 5-12, right? So it's like not much separating these teams, in regards to record-wise. Obviously, some organizations are better than others, but at the end of the day, we'll have to see, kind of where the chips fall when it's all said and done. But it is combine season, no Shedeur throwing. We'll see if Travis runs the 40, have some fun with that.
The other 2 might be the most interesting, LeJohntay Wester and Jimmy Horn. I think they're definitely going to run the 40, and I can't wait to see what kind of number they put up.
Those are 2 guys, and I know that we're biased being here in Colorado, but I think LeJontay Wester and Jimmy Horn Jr. are going to be solid pro receivers. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Diana Rossini even talking about how Will Shepard is someone to keep an eye on, of a guy that has a lot of pro-type traits that a team might like.
Yeah, absolutely. Will Shepard already showed out a little bit during that East-West Shrine game. But I'm excited to see if Jimmy, he might not even be fully healthy. So I don't know if we know yet if he's running the 40, but I can't wait to see the type of time that they could put up in the 40-yard dash, either LeJontay or Jimmy. They seem like they could go sub 4.3, but they're going to be right around 4.3, which is going to be awesome for their draft stock. And I think Jimmy could really make a name for himself at something like this.
Yeah, no doubt. So looking forward to that. Again, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. That way you guys never miss an episode of the SCO Show. What else? Any other buff news that we have missed before we get our boy on here?
I'm getting pretty excited for spring ball. I love talking about practice. We've seen some well-off media videos recently. I think this past week we saw Caden Salter throw quite a bit on a well-off media video. He was there with Ryan Staub as well, which I think it made me think a little bit about this discussion, and we're going to talk about it throughout spring ball. But we talk about this quarterback competition being 2 quarterbacks. And I am sure that Pat Shurmur is going to show up to his first press conference and be like, hey, let's not all forget about Ryan Staub, because he has been really good the last couple of years as Shedeur's backup. We saw him against Utah, and he actually performed pretty well. And I know that Pat Shurmur loves him. I know that he does all the right things in that room. So Ryan Staub's going to be involved in this quarterback competition. I think we automatically assume that it's going to be Julian Lewis or it's going to be Caden Salter. But I think when we start this quarterback competition in a couple of weeks, when they actually get on the field with their coaches, I think the coaches will say that this is going to be a 3-player quarterback competition, which will be interesting.
Buff football will be back before you know it. The news will start ramping up. We'll get some reports there out of spring practice. So it is going to be exciting. Again, the SCO Show is your place to stay up to date with all the news and notes right here on the Mile High Sports YouTube channel. But all right, before we hit our first break, we'll bring in our guy Petros from Goonsville here in just a moment. Let me tell you about our friends over at Peckish once again, guys. 2 locations across Colorado. We are in the lovely Denver Tech Center location right now. They've got TVs galore. We just had some elite chicken wings, elite pizza. I think is Danny going to try to?
I want to see if we can get that Coach Prime photo off the wall.
Danny with the impromptu.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
Nice.
And that's at the Peckish location in Boulder. So, as I always like to say, it's Coach Prime approved, it's Travis Hunter approved, it's Shedeur Sanders approved, it's SCO Show approved. I mean, you've got to love our friends over at Peckish. And guys, they have trivia and happy hour all throughout the week. Jeopardy Bar League every Wednesday starting at 7:30. Geeks Who Drink Pub Trivia every Sunday at 4. And I got this happy hour menu in my hand here, 3 to 6 p.m. every day. $3 Pep Slices, $4 Chef's Daily Slice as well. And also check out their lunch specials available from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. every single day. You've got the Peckish Pear, which is a slice of pizza and a side salad. You could double down on the pizza as well. Or you can check out their brand new chicken sandwich, which has been brought to the Denver Tech Center location after popular demand from those that visit Boulder. So be sure to check out our friends over at Peckish. Let them know that the SCO Show sent you. And get your fill, folks. Get your fill.
So good.
It's elite. All right, we'll bring in our man Petros here in just a moment, talking Goonsville, talking CU Buffs right here on the SCO Show when we come back in just a moment.
You got to move your feet and play smart. I mean, look, post defense is not for pussies. It's for men. Like you got to be a grown man to play post defense in Hunter Dickens.
Welcome on back into the SCO Show here at Peckish in the Denver Tech Center, proud presenting sponsor of the program. Check them out, 2 locations across Colorado for your chicken wings and pizza needs. Aniello, Piro, Chase Howell joined by the man himself. What's going on, bud?
What's up, man?
Petros of Goonsville. You guys have seen Goonsville all across the world, I feel like, when it comes to CU Buffs conversation. Uncle Neely, Warren Sapp. I mean, who else is repping Goonsville?
Bunch of people. We got, other athletes, basketball players. You guys were talking Buffs basketball. We got Julian Hammond.
Nice.
So, we got other people. Yeah, like you said, Warren Sapp, the DNVR guys wear it. Yep. Jake wears it. Scotty. They were actually both wearing it today, too. It's
Let's go.
Coincidental. So
it's a movement, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It really is. And it's like, it's this thing that's bringing everyone together. We got Big Dog Chico. He's out in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
We got Dukes to Scoop. He's out in Atlanta. And so it's like,
so if you follow Buff Media, then you probably have seen some.
Yeah, 100%. That's where I recognized it at first. And then you and I actually met at the DJ McKinney interview that I did. And then he was doing a fan meet and greet as well. And I had seen the Goonsville brand all over the place. And I was like, wait, you're the one who, okay. So we kind of connect some dots there. So happy to make this happen. We'll talk a little Buff football with you. And then we'll talk about your brand and where people could find it as well. Because, I don't know, Chase. You're looking pretty clean over there. I think I'm looking all right.
You guys are looking pretty fly. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, you're looking pretty fly with that Joker tee, baby.
Yeah,
that's a limited edition.
Dude, this is awesome. I'm loving it. I mean, so this was this something that you actually put on?
Yeah, so that's our actual magazine cover.
Wow.
And
man,
once
awesome.
I got the magazine cover, I was like, we need to make that a shirt. Like, I've never really seen, I've seen some more cartoony Joker type of tees, but we went all out with the details on that one. So if you got one, you got one. If you don't have one, we're not selling them right now. So
It's rare.
It's a rare piece, a little limited edition.
Yeah,
got to get in the clothing world there a little bit. Yeah, got
accents on the side,
little scratch Joker smile there for all the scratches on his sleeve.
It's all about the details.
Yeah, absolutely.
All about the details.
Yeah, Chase was actually my model, and Danny Bailey over there.
Really?
I had to pull him out, and I was like, all right, I need some tall, slender men to model this for me.
So if you ever need anybody, Petros, you just let me know.
I got you. That's a goon mentality.
Yeah,
100%. Okay, let's talk some buffs because I want to pick your brain about the brand here as well. Where do you want to start? I'm going to leave it up to you because you've been plugged in for a while.
Yes.
Right? Obviously, 4 wins a couple of years ago. This past season was incredible, contending for the Big 10 championship or Big 12 championship, excuse me. Going out there, they got smoked in the bowl game, but, still just a fun season on national TV every single week. I mean, give me your temperature on CU Buffs football.
I'm excited. The path ahead and the forward thinking ahead, I think, is strong. They've brought in a lot of great players. They already have a set of players from last year that's going to continue the tradition that a lot of the players that we're pushing for. And then when like you guys were talking about with the NFL draft, I mean, a lot of that cadence is, been proposed down to the younger guys. And I think they're going to carry that forward into this year. But on top of that, I think, with the newer, younger guys, they're going to get that perspective of that prime culture and the community of how they're being such focused on, and the culture of the idea that, CU is going to be the standpoint that's going to continually shock the nation.
Yeah.
And so they kind of have a chip on their shoulder to keep going and build off of what the team built last year. And I think they're going to propel that really far forward. So
I would agree.
So what made you want to start talking to some of the CU media people, start talking to Neely, kind of get into that?
Yeah. So a lot of it just kind of comes from their perspective when it comes to media. And then I found my standpoint with the clothing part of it. And so Goonsville was kind of the representation of myself. And then so when I was building that, anyone can be a goon. So when you're wearing Goonsville, that's who you are. You are the goon. And so for Uncle Neely, Chico, Dukes, everybody that's wearing Goonsville is respectively pulling from what makes them who they are. And while they're wearing the brand, that's what builds our Goonsville. And like you guys wearing it today, it's continually growing because everyone is being their part of being the goon, but it's this larger community that holds it all together, which is pretty cool.
Well, and it's funny you bring that up because we did a good amount of marketing for the Joker tees, right? Yes. There is no better advertising or marketing that you can do than when you get that word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right. And once you're kind of in, and it kind of spreads like wildfire there. And that's, like I said, I picked up on it before I even knew you. I was like, what is this Goonsville brand? Like, that's pretty cool. And now it's becoming a bit of a revolution, as you've mentioned.
Yes.
How did you get that brand in the hands of Warren Sapp? Like, what was that process like?
That was Uncle Neely.
Really? Shout out Uncle Neely.
Uncle Neely all the way. He is, and I'm glad I'm talking to you guys about this today because I really wanted to put this into the prefaces of media. Unc is somebody with Goonsville. He's taken it to a whole nother level where I call him the goon because he is the
big goon, baby.
He is the big goon, and he lives through Goonsville in the way that it's his brand. Everyone is a part of this brand in some way, but it's what you make of it. And Unc's taken it to a whole nother level where he is Goonsville in the sense of he is Goonsville. I don't know how to explain it more, but like he's worn it to the point where he's lived through the brand. And I think a lot of people are starting to associate with Goonsville that, it's Unc, it's Chico, it's you guys, it's what you make of it. And he's taken it to a whole nother level. I mean, I saw, it was when Coach Prime released his season 3 on Prime Video. Mm-hmm. I mean, Unc was wearing it, Jake was wearing it. But they are, when I see people wearing it, I see who they are when they're wearing it. So that's that kind of cool trade-off. And it's really grown the last couple of years because from the beginning, I've always stuck with the standpoint. It's you are the goon. And so I had to build that out more and more and more. And everyone was, because I want to make it the cool word of our generation, take it to that next level. And so, like you said, with Unc, and, connecting the Warren Sapp connection, they did a Wednesdays with Warren, the show that they do every Wednesday. I think there's going to be one dropping tonight. So if anyone wants to go watch it,
they'll be watching it. Oh yeah.
Please go watch it. But Unc's always wearing it on there. And so one show, he wore it a couple times. I think and I know he wears it up there all the time up at CU, but Warren Sapp caught it one day and he was like, tell me more about this Goonsville. And he's like, young guys trying to make a brand out of Colorado. I myself am born and raised, so kind of lived all over the Denver metro area, but just graduated from CU. And so building out the brand through them, they kind of built that connection, and Unc just told him more about it, and he's like, I can be a goon. He's like, I am a goon. He's like, I actually got a couple goons. And so Unc's like, well, there we go. We're going to start supplying. And so Unc got him one of the hoodies, and then boom.
Look at
I
that.
love it, the Goon Nation. We got to get you involved with the hockey community as well, because Goon is the big time term in the hockey community.
Yes.
You ever seen the movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The first one, what was it? His name's Doug Glatt or something.
Doug Glatt.
Yeah. I've seen it. Actually, it's funny you say that. Joe Sakic has some Goonsville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Went straight to the top.
I wanted to plug that because it's something that's it's there. I mean, I used to live right by him, and so I see him all the time. I saw him when they won the Stanley Cup, and he was super excited. And I actually built this cool relationship with him. I'd see him and driving through my neighborhood, and I'd talk to him, and we started hitting it off. And then he saw Goonsville, but I can't believe I never told him it. But it kind of caught his eye, and he was like, I ran into him a couple months after we actually moved from our house. But I mean, I lived there for 5 years, so I'd see him continuously. Right. And so I was like, Joe, did I ever tell you about my clothing brand, Goonsville? And he's like, I was wondering what that was. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, it's this clothing brand. That's who you are. And he's like, wait, I just got to let you know that's a hockey term. You know that, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, and he's like, does it have to do with hockey? Can it be hockey? I said, 100%.
Be whatever you want. But yeah, if you're a goon, you got to be repping Goonsville.
Yeah.
That's sweet, dude.
Super Joe's a goon.
So I mean, how sick is that?
I gotta get that. I'm getting that picture. I just I'm gonna get that picture from him. He's I'll get in contact with him, but I got him a red hat, kind of like Avs colors, kind of like those. And then so not Avs colors, but the colorways of it. Right. And so they it was cool. I think he ran into my cousin I was talking about before the show, Nicholas, at Pancake House, and he said he's actually fire, bro.
So
fire.
So good.
And no, he's just like, he asked him, he said, hey, Joe, because he knew my cousin Nick, and he's like, have you been wearing your Goonsville? And he's like, yeah, I wear it all the time on the golf course, just doing my thing. And so he's a really cool guy.
So you're a football guy.
Yes.
Right? CU is kind of your bread and butter when it comes to this stuff, at least from what I've noticed.
Yes.
We love all the players. But what position group represents Goonsville? Not even like players, but like is there like a specific type of player position?
Yeah.
Like is it more like linebackers? Is it receivers?
Gotta be Warren Sapp's crew now.
Okay. I will throw in Warren Sapp's crew, but I will say I gotta throw this out there, and I think it throws a lot of love towards Dion, DBs, corners. Yeah. I myself was a corner, and the goon mentality when you're playing that position is you got to be locked in 24/7. I mean, it's like that is my opinion. I think a lot of people agree, but that is the hardest position on the field simply because when I was playing it, you have to mirror the other player. And so you have to copy their mannerisms and then go forward, go backwards, and you're mirroring them. And so they're going on a straight trajectory. You have to follow that trajectory and make sure you make a play on top of it and stop it. So definitely there. And then obviously, the D-line, D-ends and stuff like that. You got to be a goon when it comes to that because beast mode mentality. And so, but what was it? Oh, and you said it, linebackers, 100%. I got to plug linebackers because that's a crazy position, and you got to be a crazy person to be a middle linebacker, outside linebacker, and they're goons, 100%. So
I love that.
Mostly defensive guys, maybe offensive line. You could throw it out there.
Yeah, maybe
running back.
I hear the term goon, and I'm just like, that's just like someone who's just going to go out there and chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's that defensive type of mentality, right?
Yes.
And look, like I love the offense and whatnot, but sometimes the offensive players in general, more polished, a little bit more refined, a little glitz and glamour, like goons are on defense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're going to go out there and, look you in the eye and just
100%.
hit you over the middle or whatever it might be.
Oh, yeah. Maybe like fullbacks.
Yeah, that's a good
one.
Goon.
I like Chase's running back point, too. Just kind of put the head down.
Yes.
Get out there. Certain quarterbacks.
Like
Lamar Jackson, I could see being a goon.
Oh, 100%. The way he played and the way I think a lot of it too is done with their mannerisms and the way they play on the field. I don't know. It's something that it's through your position, who you are, but also, like Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's shifty, but he's also got that dog mentality.
Joe Burrow, I could see rocking some Goonsville.
Yeah.
I feel like Caden Salter might be a good fit with his ability to run, and he only likes to win football games. He's a proven winner.
Yeah.
I think King Salter might be a good one.
100%.
We'll have to see this.
Yeah.
I like it. Where can people find you online and social media?
Yes, so you can find us at goonsvilleclothing.com, and then our Instagram is where I do a lot of the work on kind of promoting our social media and our clothes. It's Goonsville_303_clothing. And just stay up to date with that. I post a lot of stuff on there. You'll be seeing this interview. I'll definitely post it on there. But I'm posting everyone that's so a part of this community. That's what I'm trying to build with Goonsville. Nothing is supposed to hold you back from what makes you a goon. Anyone can be a goon. It could be hockey, football, lacrosse, basketball. Any form of what makes you who you are is the goon. And I post to people that are wearing it and buying it. And I want to show that this community is something that is really real, but also at the same time, it's making a standpoint in our communities across the world. So
love it.
That's dope, dude.
Thank you guys.
I love that. I almost cursed, but
you guys
you
are
could
cool.
on YouTube, but like I'm so like trained to the radio, like no this word, no that word, like whatever it might be. But like no, for real, dude, for you to be like as young as you are and like following your passion and having success with it, right? Like no disrespect to anybody out there that's hustling and all that kind of stuff, but to see you have your product on Uncle Neely, on Warren Sapp, on the Amazon Prime show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
I mean, did you guys see the other day I had out of the blue, I mean, this was straight out of the blue. Antonio Brown texted me.
No way.
I swear.
CTESPN, baby.
Bro,
Goonsville.
CTESPN.
That's some Goonsville right there. That was some goon.
That's a goon.
That's a goon.
Wide receivers aren't normally goon, but AB has it.
Oh, yeah, he's got that.
He might be like, you said Uncle Neely's the big goon. Like AB might be like Lord Goon or something like that.
Something. He'll make something out of it. I mean,
every time I open up Twitter, I'm like, oh, okay, AB. Like, looks like you're doing all right.
Yeah, he's the CTE goon. I guess.
Yeah,
there we go.
CTE goon. Yeah, retired goon.
He made CTE cool. I'm not plugging that.
No, I know, but it's just like. It's a cool brand, man. It's a cool name.
Thank you.
It really is. And like you could see like, why people want to wear it, why people want to rep it, right?
Yes.
And so I think that's what makes it unique here as well. But what else on the bus before we get out of here? I mean, how you feeling about this upcoming season?
I'm amped. It's going to be a great season.
New quarterback, no more Travis, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were their unicorns, Shedeur and Travis. I mean, Travis was straight up unicorn. I mean, he won the Heisman, but the trajectory, like I said, is very strong. And the young guys, they got that mentality where they got that chip on that shoulder because they knew. I think we all kind of felt it last year. They were so close to hitting the playoffs and all that stuff, and they were just, I don't know. It was just like a couple games away where everything really, really could have changed. Mm-hmm. And building off that, the senior players that did their stuff, they rocked and rolled, and they created a great balance for this year. And I think, like you guys were saying, with the quarterbacks. The multitude of positions. I mean, it's only going to get better because everyone's going to refine their craft with this year. I mean, Coach Sapp is in it. He's going into his second year. Well, he kind of did a little bit the first year, but he's going into his officially second year of coaching with the Buffs. And then obviously Coach Prime is rocking and rolling with building out what he wants as a culture on the team, but also having that chip on that shoulder. And hey, we are going to take this to the next level. We're going to hit the college football playoffs and hopefully beyond. But I mean, this year is the year to make it happen. And I mean, good things come in threes. So we'll see what happens.
In threes. Third year's the lucky year.
I'm feeling good, dude.
Love it.
I'm feeling good. Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, one more time, my man. Online website, where can people get the merch?
Yeah, so goonsvilleclothing.com. Go check us out. Releasing new stuff. We just released our beanies. Just dropped these.
Those look warm.
Thank you. They're very super warm. Comfortable. They're actually lined on the inside.
Yeah.
So you don't get that itchy feeling.
Yeah, they look like the good material.
Yeah.
And that's big when it comes to those beanies.
It is. I had to test 5 different beanies before I came to this because I did not like it. I get the itch. Mm-hmm. One of them gave me a bad rash, and I was like, oh, I am not dropping this one. I threw it out. I was like, I'm not even touching that one. But I just kept refining it, and then I found the one, and I test my products a lot of the time before I actually drop them. And I've worn this for about 2 weeks before I officially dropped it because I was trying it and I'm making the clothes, and I never had any issues. I don't itch. It stays strong. The everything holds together, and it's a quality product. So, yeah,
love it, man. Be sure to check out Goonsville. It's CU approved. It's also now SCO show approved. That's right. So boom, check them out, man. Appreciate you big time as always. Thanks for the love. Enjoy the Joker tee as well.
Thank you.
But we got Mike back there all pumped up here at Peckish. But all right,
yes,
it's
sir.
Time to do some more munching. And again, if you're trying to munch, if you're trying to eat, grub, whatever adjective you want to use, or verb, I guess it is, come on down to our friends over at Peckish. 2 locations across Colorado. Denver Tech Center is where we're at right now. They've got like 9 50-inch TVs all like next to each other. It's an incredible viewing experience. Check them out here for the Buff Nation in the Denver Metro, or if you're going up to Boulder anytime soon, check out their original location on the hill. Anything else you want to get off the chest?
Just go Buffs.
Go Buffs, baby.
Go Buffs.
Aniello, Piro, Chase Howell, Petros of Goonsville, man. Y'all have a good day. Talk to you guys later right here on The Sco Show.